Well, howdy howdy, let's get rowdy. Hey, it's been a while since I've done a video on camera related topics, so today we are going to try to fix that issue. Today we're going to take a peek at this box of vintage lenses that I have. Now this does not mark all of my lens collection. I could probably do another half of this box or thereabout, and that would probably top it off, give or take. We're not going to look at all of them because some of them I don't have access to. They're either mounted on or with other camera packets. Some of these are not exactly easy to access due to storage of them, or just because they're buried here in my office and I just can't get through the clutter to get to them. Depending on how long this video goes, I may turn around behind myself and grab the lenses that I have on my shelf and put them in the video, but I'm suspecting that this may take a while to get through. Now with that said, we're just going to look at the lenses, at what they are and what I have, and there will be no test samples from these videos at this point in time. Over this past year, during this fake pandemic, I have been taking some of my cameras and my lenses out and testing them with the purpose of demoing them in a futuristic video. So keep an eyeball out for that. They will come in time when time is available. So with that said, let's go ahead and move forth and let's see what I have. Now, a couple of these we may have already seen in a earlier video. I'm not going to go through all those videos to see which one. So we're just going to group them all here, and we're going to make this video as part one. So go ahead and grab yourself some beverage to drink, and here we go. Let's get started. Okay, the first one here is a Vivitar Series One, 70-210. This is a f3.5. Now we have seen this one in an earlier video when I bought it. These are awesome lenses. They have a small cult following. This one here is in a Nikon mount. We could tell that because of the pig snout right here we have. And those pig snouts tell us that we want to mount that to a modern 1970s forward camera. If you had the pig snout and they're solid, then you don't want to mount those to a newer camera. You take a chance of breaking the mirror that's in them. Now this is a push-pull, and this is a 70-210 millimeters with macro. This lens I haven't really used outside of here at the house, testing it out, made sure it worked. This one has issues. The grease in here is kind of dry, and it will need to be taken care of. So when I say push-pull, this is push-pull, and that's how you adjust the zoom in, zoom out aspect. And this, zoom in, zoom out, and then focusing action. Okay, lovely lens. Can't wait to use it, regardless of the issue. Next lens. This is a Sears 135mm f2.8, and this is also a Nikon mount. Trying to get my light right. I didn't set it up before the video. And again, we see the snout there, built-in hood. Now this one I do believe I have used I don't remember. It's impressive lens, if I remember correctly. All of these lenses I have tested here at the house, if nothing else, or in the office. But taken outside in the real world, I can't remember if I've done all of them. This lens right here is a Albinar, and this is an 80 to 200 millimeter f3.9, and I actually bought this one brand new. This one here is for a Pentex. Push-pull focus. And so far all the lenses that we've looked at have been manual lenses. Manual focus, manual zoom, for those that are zoom. This one's zoom, and the last one we looked at was a prime lens. I guess I should try to declare that. This one I do believe I just took out on a shoot about a month ago. Nope, I lied. Wrong one. This one here is a Asanuma auto wide f2.8 at 35 millimeter. Asanuma, however you pronounce it. That has a M42 mount, also commonly known as a screw mount. Pentex came out with the screw mount, so you might have also heard them referred to as a Pentex mount. This here is a prime lens, and it's fast glass. And can't see how many leaves it has. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 leaves. So that should have some fantastic bokeh. It should have buttery smooth bokeh balls. And that's just what you want. That's how you want your bokeh balls. Buttery smooth. And we have an auto manual switch here. Again, manual, everything. Those that are, just assume that they're all manual. I'll declare whether or not it's auto. How's that sound? Most of these are auto. I mean manual something. Alright, here is another prime. This is a Vivitar 28mm f2.8, and it's a wide angle lens. And again, we could tell by the pig snout that it is a Nikon mount. Most of these in my testing I was really impressed with, so we'll just leave that saying as is unless otherwise noted. Alright, so here we have a M42 mount, and cap fell off of it, loose fitting. This one here is a Sunset f5.5 300mm, and I think here recently I did take this one out, and I was really impressed with it. It has a tripod mount, and I really like that. Really butter smooth focusing, and it's got this detent here that you can tell it how far you actually want to go, and it'll just do that. So If we want to go full range, f5.5 all the way up to 32, we could do that. Or if we want to just go to f8 up to 32, we could do that. And nothing more, nothing less. Now you're going to notice that a lot of these lenses are subpar, cheap lenses. I'm not afraid of buying cheap subpar lenses, and neither should you be. And the reason that is that lenses, these subpar cheap lenses, and then I got the mount. So yeah, I have taken this one out recently. Manufacturers who make these are not exactly cheap Chinese junky manufacturers. They very well could be made by top-of-the-line manufacturers such as Canon, Nikon, Tamron, Sigma, etc., etc. And you'll never know if you've got the better quality lens until you actually get it and try it. Even if you go by serial number, that's not exactly an exclusive telltale. There are people out there that do keep track of the serial numbers, and people chime in with their serial number and good quality, bad quality, and then they try to, if they're able to, then they get the figured out who made it, but not necessarily always. So it's kind of a gamble, kind of a crapshoot of what you have, what you get. So don't be afraid to buy this old stuff if you're into it like I am. Some of it's heavy. You don't want to drop it on your foot, but otherwise, go for it. Do like I do. Buy cheap. Don't spend premium money, because resale, you're probably not going to get it. All right, this lens right here is a TV lens made by Sony. And this is a fast 1.8 and 75 millimeter lens. And this is a C mount. C mount. You'd use this on your old video cameras. Could even use this on CCT cameras. Or unless you're like me and then you try these on your DSLR. You buy a C mount to whatever body you have, and then you could try it. It works. The thing is you'll have, it'll be like shooting through a tunnel. So you're going to have vignetting. Depending on the lens, you could have a lot of vignetting. And so you just crop into to the photo. Unless you got like a 5 megapixel camera, then cropping is not going to be ideal. But buy them, have fun with them. This lens here, my goodness, this has got to be one of my favorite lenses. It's an off-brand. It's this case does not go to it. I don't know where I got the case. But anyway, this lens and this hood don't even go to it. The hood is a Spiritone hood, but the lens is a Lentar, Tele-Lentar, and it's a prime. It's a f2.8, and it's 135 millimeter with a M42 mount. This lens is just an amazing lens. It has absolute butter smooth bokeh. It's very clear, very sharp. I've used this to take portraits, and I've used this lens to shoot a music video. And I am absolutely impressed with this lens. So much so that I bought another Lentar lens. That one wasn't quite as impressive as this one, but wow, that is an amazing lens. That's all I could say. Really nice and smooth focus. Phenomenal lens. Just took it out the other day and dorked with it. I haven't, some of you who have been a subscriber to my channel for a while know that I used to do this professionally, photography work. And probably, I don't know, 4 or 5 years ago, my eyes started going bad to the point that, well, I went blind. And it really hurt me because I couldn't do photography. Well, I couldn't do anything. But photography was a sad thing for me. I wasn't done being a photographer, and I wasn't done with things I wanted to achieve. Luckily, I was able to get my eyeball rebuilt, and even though it's not perfect, it does allow me to continue on enjoying the hobby and using all my cameras and all my lenses. So I'm jazzed, I'm fat and happy. I'll never go back to being pro, although I probably could do it, but I'm not going to. Now this one, I know for sure, I did use on a recent, took it on a recent trip, and I am absolutely amazed with this lens. This is a Sigma, and it's a prime lens. It is a f2.8 at 28 millimeters, and it is a mini wide 2. And this one is for Nikon. When I do the review on this, I think you too will agree what an amazing lens. And I'm very surprised at the amazing prices that this lens is going for anymore. I bought my lenses long time ago, and I think the last time I bought another lens was a year or two ago. Don't remember when. Amazing lens. Look forward to the video on that coming up. This lens case says Sigma, but it's a surprise. Let's see. Okay, this is going to be a Sigma. Okay, so it is a Sigma 70 to 210 zoom F4 UC2. And this one is for Nikon, and this one is automatic everything. Decent little lens for what it is. This is the D version, and as you see, it's full manual. If you wanted to go manual, you'd use this with manual cameras. If you go to use this with auto cameras, like I do, you want to make sure you put it on f22, the red character. Any lens that are set up like this, you want to put it over here where it's denoted. If not, then your camera will not, your DSLR will not use this, don't recognize it. So you have to put it over there in the red. Here we have another autofocus. This is a zoom. This is a Quantaray. I actually have 3 of these branded lenses. These are cheap lenses that were sold at places like Robert's Camera. And this one here is a zoom. It is a 70 to 300 F4 with macro. This is a really nice lens. I have one for Canon, one for Nikon, and one for Pentex. I do believe. This one here. This one here, I believe, is the Pentex model. Nope, I lied. It's Nikon. Quality-wise, you know, it's not bad for what it is. It does have some chromatic abrasions, but if you can control your light, then that'll help get rid of that chromatic abrasion. So make sure you turn things down just a little bit. Otherwise, it's not a bad lens for what it is. If you buy one of these, don't spend a lot of money. But otherwise, you should be happy with it. Here's a nice zoom. This thing weighs a ton. This is a 100 to 300 millimeter f5. And this one here is for a Pentex. I'm sorry, this one's for a Nikon. Beautiful, beautiful lens. Now remember what I told you about the snout earlier? This one here actually has a solid snout. But, as you see, the mount does not protrude way out there. So with this lens, you're okay to mount to your modern camera, which I have, and I do. And really, really nice zoom lens. We have a tripod mount. And in case I forgot to say what brand it was, which I did, this is a Soligor. Really, really nice lens. Picture quality on this one, if I remember right, it was okay. I have another Soligor that does really well. I think this one just did okay. I'll have to take it out and do some more testing, and we will see. Here's another lens. This one, I absolutely enjoy this lens. This is a wow lens. And the weight, it's big, it's heavy. You're not going to be carrying this around too much unless you build up some pipi muscles. This here is a Tamron f3.8, 80 to 250 millimeters, 72 millimeter front lens. And this one is set up with a M42 screw mount. This one here, I have a correction lens on it. You see this adapter here has glass on it, and what that does is when you mount this to a T-ring, it bumps it away from the sensor just enough that this big old lens becomes useless at infinity. It, in a sense, becomes a nice macro close-up lens. So you need to ensure when you mount this to your Nikon that you get that get the adapter with the mirror on it. I mean the correction lens, something. This one here probably use a little bit of lubrication. It still moves, but you can feel a little stickiness. This one here is also set up for automatic manual. And to change the settings, you grab right here and you do that. This little lever right here, you flick that somewhere, somehow. And then you can move the collar about. I really, really like these lenses that have the built-in mount on them. Because if not, then you mount your camera and then this on your tripod, this makes it really front heavy, and when you lock down your tripod, it's not going to be in place where you need it. So if you do this, it kind of gives it a little bit of center balancing, and it works out great. If you do have those lenses, it's recommended really that you have one of these guys. This here, what this does is take the plate, which apparently I left it on some lens, and then you mount your lens on that, and when you do that, then you take this little guy, and now you have full control of swinging your lens. And let me tell you, this mount on those big lenses are well worth their weight in gold. And you just leave that unloose, so you can then grab a hold of this with that hand and your camera with this hand, and you could just work this thing, and it makes shooting these big zoom lenses so much easier. One day I'll show you my collection of heads, tripod heads. In a future video coming at you, I'm sure. Okay, and so we got this lens. This is for a Pentex, for a Nikon, and this is a Tokina 35-105 f3.5. This is all manual. It's push-pull. Nice big front element there. 55mm front element. Here we have another auto everything lens. This is a Tamron 75-300mm f4. And this is the LD version. This is macro, and I believe this is Canon. Yes, it's Canon. I believe that's 72mm on front. And you hear that one has a motor in it. So it was designed more than likely for film, or at least the older body DSLRs. I think it's a holdover from the film days. I could be wrong though. Here we have one for Nikon. You're going to see Nikon. I'm a Nikon shooter. That's what my primary camera is. So I have a lot of Nikon stuff, but I'm not afraid of shooting other brands. This one here is another Tokina 80-200 f4, and this is also a zoom. I mean, of course we already know that because I just said that, but it's manual, push-pull. .55mm front lens. I guess I should have said that on all of them, but it is what it is. I don't think I've shot this one much or at all. I think this might have been in one of the last lenses I bought. Not the last lens, but one of them. Here we have, I believe this is a Soligor. Yep, this is a Soligor This is a prime f2.8 135mm, and I believe this was the one that I was referencing that is a phenomenal lens. And we see that we got the pig snout on it. It's been a while since I've used it, but when I'm going through all my lenses and all my cameras and trying to use them. The ones that I can mount to my Nikon is the one that we'll be doing a lot of review from. I only have one other. I have two cameras, SLRs that do video, a Nikon and a Canon. And I really don't use my Canon one very much for no reason. Well, I have a couple of Canons, and one I use more than the other. My old Canon I use more than my new Canon. So that I will have to take that out one day and shoot it. Really smooth. This lens we have seen in an earlier video when I bought it. This one here is another Vivitar, I believe it's S1 or Series One, S1, whatever, but it's not. I thought it was. Anyway, this is a Vivitar 300mm prime f5.5. We have a tripod collar. This is a FD mount. I have not used this one at all. I only have one camera that is an FD camera. FD cameras are film cameras, and I have that one packed up with a bunch of other FD lenses, which are now worth lots of money because, well, they're fast lenses. So we see we got the tripod thingy here. And this one's nice and smooth as well. I haven't shot film in a while. Need to. Been thinking of it. Here we have another Vivitar. This is a 90 to 230 millimeter f4.5, and if I remember right, I was impressed with this one. This is very nice and clean, almost like new condition. Tripod mount, and this is the M42 mount with the auto manual switch. Not too heavy, you could walk around with that one. Really nice and smooth. The lens thread on this, don't say, but it's probably around 55 mil as well. Yes, I know I don't have a lot of lens caps or tail caps, but it is what it is. Will one day. I have a lot, not necessarily what I need. Alright, here is another FD mount. So this is for Canon, which means no, I haven't used this one neither. Okay, this is a Vivitar Series One, 70 to 210 f3.5, and my lens here is a little dirty. Not what I paid for it. Nice clean lens. I don't spend that kind of bread on lenses unless it's something snazzy. And this one has macro. I can't remember if the others had macro on it or not. Lens does have some weight. Another lens you don't want to drop on your toe. And I can see the length of this video. I'm not gonna pull any more off my shelf. We're almost done. We'll reserve those for another day. Look at that big old mama. That thing is massive. I don't remember this lens. This is a Tokina ATX 80 to 200. Oh, holy cow. f2.8, and that is a 77 millimeter front lens. Wow. Is that massive or what? And this is for a Canon FD. Somebody put tape over that. I guess they didn't like the little bumps. And it's, oh, got a tripod mount. I kind of vaguely remember this, but I don't. Wow, that is some humongous glass. That's heavy, but you could walk around with it, clunk, or hit somebody with it. It probably wasn't good to do that. Thought I had more padding at the bottom. Okay, here we have a Mamiya Shaker, Sekor, however you pronounce it. Yeah, I know you're going to flame me on the pronunciation, my speech. That's okay. We all can't be perfect like you. This is a Prime 3.5, 200 millimeter. And I vaguely remember this one as well. This one's a M42 mount. Very nice, very clean. And that should be your auto manual switch. Really smooth. Wow, I'm gonna have to try this one. Mamiya Shaker. There we go. Mamiya, oh Mamiya. Nice and smooth. Almost done. Hold on. And then we got this big old heft. I think I used this one here recently. This is for a Pentex. I think I've taken this one out. I don't think I was too impressed with it, but I'll have to try it another day. Then again, the camera I was using it on, I'm not too impressed with the camera. This is another Asanuma, A-S-A-N-U-M-A. This is a f3.5, 70 to 220 millimeters, not 222. Push-pull. Macro. Tripod, and this one here needs a little usage. It's kind of stiff. It's very heavy lens. Three more lenses and we are done. I saved the last three for last. You'll understand why here in just a moment. This lens is the smallest lens I own. Wait for it. It's going to fill up the whole frame. There we go. I've shot this lens. This is a Sony TV Lens F 1.8 at 16 millimeter. Heavy. No, I forgot the word. And you see it's C-mount. Again, for use with old TV cameras, CCD cameras. Vignetting, there we go, that's the word. Heavy vignetting with this. Can't remember what the pictures did. I think on my Nikon it was a macro lens. So I have to try it on my Nikon, on my Pentex or my Canon. So I'm not sure if they made a correction glass for that. Next up is probably the heaviest lens I have. This is not the original case, it's a case I picked up for it at the second-hand store. Lens hood. And the lens. When you mount that to your camera, you know it. This is a 500 millimeter lens. This is made by Tele-Lentar, and that's f8. And you can see it's a telescope lens with a M42 mount. Now I don't have them, but inside this thread right here is where you would mount your lens filters. Unfortunately, like I said, I don't have them. Big lens. I have shot this several months back, and this will be part of my camera review or lens review, and also I did video with this. On the side here we have this big spinning wheel here that changes your aperture from f8 to hopefully in focus. f8, f11, and then f16. Apologize for the glare. And what happens inside this lens when you're doing that, with most cameras you have a blade, leaf blade that'll, you know, close the circle. What this one has is just like a ND filter built in a professional camera, video camera, where it actually puts the lenses in place. And as you see, it darkens it. So that is kind of cool. I leave it closed to help protect the mirror lens, because to tear that apart to clean it wouldn't be fun. It is a massive lens. I mean, I can't grip my hand all the way around it. Two hands. Three-inch front element. It's another lens you definitely don't want to drop on your foot. It has a built-in tripod collar, which works out fairly good. A little dry, but it worked. I've taken this out a couple times just because I wasn't pleased with my results the first time. As far as quality goes, it's not the greatest. It gets the job done, but don't look for award-winning results. In part 2, whenever that will be, I have another 500mm lens, mirror lens, that is by far a lot smaller, a lot lighter, and a lot better. My next lens is by far my longest lens. So long that I'm going to have to zoom out on the video so we could see it. And as you can see, standing up, still can't get it into frame. And I'm not sure I'm going to be able to get it all the way in frame once I pull it out and show you. I've used this one recently, and I remember when I bought it, I wasn't too impressed with it. But this last time I took it out, I was impressed. Okay, I found my mount. So this is the camera I used it last, the lens I used this last on. I'll take that off and put it where I know I could find it. How's that for a lens? Now that last lens was what, 3.5 or 3 inches, 4 inches. This is made by Rokinon, and this is a f8. It's a 650 to 1300 millimeter lens, and it goes when you have it wide open, f8 all the way up to f16. So a lens you need a lot of light for, but if the moon is shining, you could definitely get it no problem. My last lens that I showed you, my 500 millimeter, I actually was shooting some stars with it. I mean, it wasn't spectacular, but you could definitely see the white or the colored little speck there. And when I do the video on that, I'll show you. This one, I don't think I've shot any stars with it. When you have these big lenses like this, it's really hard to get things in frame, believe it or not. It's like looking through a needle. So this is a M42 mount. Nice short travel on the focus there. Now, at this is 650 millimeters. To get the full 1300 millimeters, you undo this. No, not that. That goes to the tripod. You undo this one. And this is one of the things I don't like about this lens. This lock, you have to wrench it down to open it, or to lock it down. And now, unable to. I locked it down so well, I can't get it. There we go. So, 650, ta-da, all the way to 1300. And when you've got that mounted, that is one humongous lens. I mean, that's a club right there. Let's see if we can get the length on this. I've not measured this before. Okay, 22 inches. Well, all the way to the mount, 23 inches. Do I recommend this lens? It's okay. I find that it's okay up to about, I think it was about 1100, 1200. All the way open, it's picture quality starts becoming questionable, marginal. But it can be done. I've got some okay shots wide open at that length. So, I wish they had a different locking mechanism. Something like this would be awesome. Well, that is it for I mean, you have to really wrench that thing down. Anyway, this is it for part one of my lenses, my lens collection. It's a lot, but not enough. Have more. Behind me, didn't make the cut of this video. Probably have another 12 more. Alright, well, this video has gone a little bit longer than I anticipated, but I hope you enjoyed it. And if you enjoyed this video, give me a thumbs up. I would definitely appreciate that. Anyway, take care, have a good one, and we will see you in the next one.